In this video, we're going to be going over how expeditions work in Wayfinder. Recently, Wayfinder had a closed beta, and that closed beta was under NDA for just about everyone. There were a few content creators, however, that were able to release some of their footage and talk about their experience in the closed beta. And so from that, we were able to get a lot of valuable information. So now we're going to talk about how expeditions work, and then in future videos, we're going to talk about how some of the other mechanics are going to work in the game. Wayfinder Expeditions are essentially instance dungeons within the game, and they are a very essential part of the core gameplay loop of Wayfinder. You're going to use these to progress the story and for leveling up to farm bosses for weapons, echoes, and Wayfinder specific parts. These expeditions are called Lost Zones, and the maximum party size for expeditions is currently set to 3. You can run these solo if you choose, and you will want to complete these often in order to gain valuable loot for your character. All the expeditions are procedurally generated, and this means that no two expeditions are going to be the same. Each expedition can be modified for different mutations and difficulty levels, and while you're in the expedition or lost zone, you will also encounter various puzzles, events, traps, and of course a ton of monsters to fight. In order to access an expedition or a hunt, you will need to utilize the Gloom Sphere. You can access the Gloom Sphere in the town skylight. Every expedition will not initially be unlocked. You will need to discover them first. The entrance to each expedition can be found out in the open world, and you can also enter them from there. Once you find the entrance to a particular expedition, it will then be unlocked, and you can access it from the Gloom Sphere in skylight at any time. Each expedition or hunt will have your recommended power rating listed whenever you select it. You're also going to be able to see your current power rating so you can determine whether or not you're powerful enough to complete that particular instance. Each expedition also has varying difficulties. You can unlock the higher difficulties by fully filling up the progress bar meter within an expedition. Once that expedition is complete, you can access it again from the Gloom Sphere and select the next level of difficulty, which will increase the recommended power rating requirement. There are also imbuments or mutators that you can apply to the expeditions. Once you have progressed the main story far enough, you're going to be able to modify your Gloom Dagger. With this modification, you can then begin to add imbuments to each expedition, and these imbuments are going to grant modifiers which can increase the difficulty by adding additional challenges to the expedition. Adding these does not increase the recommended power rating, but it does add additional dangers within the expedition. You can add a single imbuement or combine imbuments in order to give you additional mutators. For example, you can combine a Chaos and a Flora imbuement to add Chaos spores throughout the expedition. This is going to make monsters become host to chaotic spores that grow wildly without a host. This will cover the floor with toxic mushrooms that deal damage over time. Then you must either avoid them or take them out before they explode. You will want to add mutators for additional loot and rewards. Certain materials are only available in certain expeditions that have particular imbuments active. Imbuments can be added to both expeditions and hunts, and adding a mutator to a hunt can dictate what rewards the boss gives. So you've heard me mention hunts a few times now. So what is the difference in a hunt and an expedition? Well, when you're at the Gloom Sphere, you're going to notice that there's two different choices you can make. You can choose to do an expedition, or you can choose to do a hunt. Wayfinder Expeditions are the procedurally generated dungeons that you're going to want to explore fully and loot in order to earn the maximum rewards for completion. You will encounter mobs throughout the dungeon, as well as traps, puzzles, and expedition events. These can be done solo, in groups of 2, or a group of 3. And in order to maximize your loot from an expedition, you're going to need to fully explore the entire zone. There's going to be chest symbols and a progress bar at the top of your screen. You're going to need to fully complete the progress bar in order to gain the maximum loot at the end of the expedition. To fill that progress bar, you just need to kill mobs, loot chests, and complete events throughout the expedition. And if you die, you'll be penalized and the progress bar will drop. If it's not fully filled at the end of the expedition, then the rewards you receive are going to be reduced. A hunt, on the other hand, is very different than a normal Wayfinder expedition. A hunt is a boss fight. These cannot be entered freely like expeditions. You're going to have to get a key called a Gloom Trace in order to enter a hunt. A Gloom Trace key can be crafted at any Echo Matrix station as long as you have the required materials. There is no need to explore the entire zone within a hunt. You can simply run into the boss arena and then begin the encounter. Just like expeditions, these can be done solo, in a group of 2, or a group of 3. Each boss fight has varying mechanics and difficulty, and you will want to farm certain bosses for certain echoes, weapon parts, and Wayfinder parts. The items can then be used to increase the power of your Wayfinder or to craft new weapons and Wayfinders. You will likely need to run a hunt multiple times in order to obtain all the pieces of loot that you are looking for. So in a nutshell, expeditions are a very core component to Wayfinder. They are the instance dungeons that you're going to be running over and over again to obtain items like echoes, and we'll have a video coming out in the future explaining the echo system, and to level up your character and to gain other valuable loot to help you progress your power rating. So the core gameplay loop of Wayfinders, you go out into the open world, you find quests, etc., and then you're going to go run these echoes over and over and over again to obtain the required materials that you need to craft certain items for the boss keys or whatever it is that you're trying to craft. That's how the expeditions in Wayfinder work. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be coming out with more Wayfinder videos as we get more information, and of course we'll be playing a lot of Wayfinder over on twitch.tv/BDLG. I stream there every Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. CST. Would love to have you come by, but that'll do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.